So today's video, I won't show any articles. We're not going to read from anything. We're just going to talk a little bit about what happened with Charlie Kirk. And it's sad. It's a sad day. I think he was a good man, and he played a very pivotal role in helping people understand, what was happening in their colleges and their indoctrination by their so-called professors. And the youth is under attack at this point. I mean, hugely when it comes to education system, the propaganda networks that exist outside of just news, but movies, music, advertisements, trends, everything is set in pace for destruction of a functioning society. And when you have somebody that constantly points that out in a way that's very effective, it is a threat to the establishment, which has invested a long game of time and money. I'll give you a good example of somebody that suffered the same consequence. His name was Martin Luther King. And I'm going to go there. I'm going to say to you and something I thought a lot about. My first video I did on this, I even spoke about it. I was like, before any real information came out, looking at the position of where Charlie Kirk was sitting, all the crowd that was around there, that shot came from a long way. Well, 200 yards is a real long distance, but it was set up in a fashion where somebody had planned this out. It was on a rooftop, and it was like a 200-yard shot. I'd have to say that they were probably aiming a little higher, but managed to hit right here because Charlie was kind of moving around while he was talking. Either way, that's not just some individual that decided to go and purchase a firearm and get out there. And, I kind of like throwing the idea around it could be one of those transmissions and all that, which we still, I'm not going to throw that out. However, the reason why I mentioned Martin Luther King is because during his tenure, or when he was Martin Luther King, when he was doing his thing, he spoke to both spectrums of people, white and black. And his main goal was to try to, get the racism to be not a thing. He wanted people to get along. He wanted people to unite. He wanted both sides to understand each other. And so he spoke a lot about that. And he was a flawed man. He did some things. You can go and, you can put that in the comment sections. Yeah, we know. But the thing about it is he reached a wide range of audience, and he had a huge following. And it was causing a big ruckus when it came to the establishment at that time that was doing everything they can to divide. And what we're looking at right now is a division, not what it is by race, but also they want to double down and do a division by just ideology and people, which means that would cover race and just mindset. And if you can infect somebody with a mind virus, convince them that their mind virus is legitimate, and then have people that try to point that out, and with that mind virus comes mental illness, it's a really volatile situation to be in. And when you look into the details of what happened to Martin Luther King and who did that, that wasn't just some random dude. That was a 3-letter organization that organized a professional hit. And in my opinion, the people who are investigating what happened to Charlie Kirk are probably the ones behind it. I'm not saying the governor and the police department and the small little grassroots people that were there. I'm talking about the FBI. I'm just going to say it. Because when you look into what happened to Martin Luther King with the redacted documents, it pretty much says, and there was a civil lawsuit, and that family won. Martin Luther King's closest families filed a civil lawsuit, and with the evidence that they had and the testimonies that were given, they won their civil lawsuit against that. And then now information kind of came out and confirmed what we all knew, that it was a political hit job brought to you by your own government because they had invested so much of their resources and time, to divide. And they didn't want that power structure to be destroyed by just one individual. And looking at the base that Charlie Kirk was building, the momentum that he was engaging in at all these colleges who had spent millions of dollars from laundered money out of China, United States USAID. They can't afford to lose any of their army. So they had to do something. And so if they find who did this, will they find that person alive? And if they will, I hope they do. This is a video where that I hope I'm wrong. I hope that I'm completely wrong and it was just some rando leftist nut job. But unfortunately, given the circumstances and the way that this all went down and how professional this looked, this is gonna be another one of those Martin Luther King things. In the comment sections, let me know what you think. And we need to pray for Charlie Kirk's family, his wife, his children, his immediate family, everybody. And we need to pray for America because this is a dark time. Thank you.